How has the fireball spell changed from edition to edition? Welcome to my channel. I focus on tabletop role-playing games, video games, and science fiction. On page 25 of Men and Magic, which is part of the original Dungeons & Dragons set, you see the description for Fireball. A missile which springs from the finger of the magic user, explodes with a burst radius of 2 inches. In a confined space, the fire will generally conform to the shape of the space. So this causes a problem in that what is the size of this, because it says 2 inches and it's the scale for that which causes problems. You have to refer back to chainmail to get the actual size. This means that we look at chainmail, and on page 8 it says the ground scale is 1 inch is 10 yards or 30 feet. This means we have a radius of 60 feet and a range of 720 feet and an area of effect of 11,310 square feet. Now we look at the first edition. And the first edition, the range is changed to 10 inches plus 1 inch per level. And the radius is a 2-foot radius sphere. So in first edition Dungeons & Dragons, 1 inch equals 10 feet, which gives us a range of 100 feet plus 10 feet per level for the range. The area of effect, if you just do pi r squared, you get 1,257 square feet. The second edition changed it again. This time it listed the distance in yards. So it's the range is 10 yards plus 10 yards per level, or 30 feet plus 30 feet per level. Again, the radius is of effect is 20-foot radius, which comes out to be 1,257 square feet. Third edition changed the spell again. The range is 400 feet plus 40 feet per level. The area of effect is still a 20-foot radius, or 1,257 square feet. The third edition also included a diagram showing how the spell spread, which is kind of strange. But anyway, as you can see, this is taken from the Player's Handbook, I think, of the third edition, where it shows how the spell and who it affects and how much it doesn't affect. The fourth edition uses their squares and burst radiuses instead of normal dimensions. So the range is 20 squares, which works out to be 100 feet, approximately. And the burst is a 3, which covers 7 by 7 squares, or 49 squares, which works out to be 1,225 square feet. Just a little bit less than the areas of the first, second, and third edition. The fifth edition changes the range yet again to 150 feet, and the burst radius is still, or is back to 20-foot radius sphere. I created a summary showing the differences from edition to edition. Let's just go across. So in original Dungeons & Dragons, the range was 24 inches, which works out to be 720 feet. That shows the heritage of original Dungeons & Dragons from Chainmail, which was a miniature set of rules for dealing with mass scale, and at 720 feet is only really useful outdoors. It's massive. It also has a massive radius of 60 feet. So the area of effect is 11,000 square feet. The first edition, let's be honest, the first, the second, the third, and the fifth all use an area effect of approximately 20 feet when you do the conversion, which converts it, that's a radius of 20 feet, which gives you an area of 1,257. The 4th edition uses a burst 3, which affects 7 by 7 squares. Each square is 5 feet, which gives you an area effect of 1,225. Just a little bit less, 2 square feet less. The big difference is that in the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 5th, it's a sphere. You could also argue that it's a sphere in OD&D, though it's not explicitly set whether it's a sphere or a cylinder, but we can assume it's a sphere. So that it actually affects 33,000 cubic feet. Whereas the 4th edition, it gets a little odd to determine that. The distance, again, for original D&D is 720 feet. 3rd edition is 100 feet plus 10 feet per level, so a 6th level is 160 feet. 2nd edition is 30 feet plus 30 feet per level, which would, for a 6th level, would give you 210 feet. For 3rd edition, you get 40 plus 40 feet per level, which would give you 280 feet, if I'm doing the math correctly in my head. And the 5th edition puts it at 150 feet. It doesn't extend per level. So that's sort of interesting. And the question that you have is that with these long-range spells, how far can you actually see? So they're great. They should probably have a bit more distance if you're doing them outside, but if you're doing them in a dungeon, you really can't see 150 feet down a dungeon pathway. The damage is somewhat consistent. OD&D was 60 per level, D6 per level. For original Dungeons & Dragons 1st, 2nd, 3rd. For 4th, it was totally wimpified. It was only a 3d6 plus the intelligence modifier. And then 5th edition, it was an 8d6. So it went up a little bit, or became a constant in 5th, sort of. I should put an asterisk there. You can increase the power of it by taking more slots at a higher level. But that gets more complicated than I wanted to get into for this little quick discussion. So the interesting thing is the radius of effect has remained constant basically from 1st edition, but it was significantly less than it was in original Dungeons & Dragons. And the range is okay because it's farther than you would ever see in a dungeon, and the damage is a little bit different. But I just wanted to discuss the differences in Dungeons & Dragons Fireball spell from edition to edition. Thank you. I look forward to learning what you think about this video. Let me know in the comments below. If you like the video, press the thumbs up button. If you don't, give me a thumbs down. I appreciate both. If you're new here and want to subscribe, you can click on the icon on the left, or there should be some links to some more content on the right.